Morning. It's a huge honor to be here today, and it's the first kind of EDI showcase for NHS, first time. So it's a huge honor for us in NELFT to take this opportunity. Thanks for the One NHS Finance and all the colleagues, Becky, Megan, and Charlie, to organizing this. So thank you so much. So today we are going to talk about the NELFT impactful initiatives on equality, diversity, and inclusion. We as a trust have done so many things here. I am Satha. I am one of the senior finance business partnering manager of the trust, and I'm also a trust finance EDI lead. And my colleague.
Hi, I'm Nicola Freeman, and I'm a senior finance business partner for NELFT, and I'm a trust finance EDI ambassador.
Thank you.
Right, so you can see our patch. We cover quite a wide area, and we've got our London-based services, which are Waltham Forest, Redbridge, Barking and Dagenham, Havering. We're one of the 5th largest Muslim communities in England, higher than national and London average of residents born abroad. We've got a higher than national and London average of unemployment and higher than national and London average of age 65 and over. And we're the 5th highest number of unoccupied minors. We've also got Essex and Kent. We've got diverse demographics, including Jaywick, 3rd most deprived area in England. We've got Medway, our 0 to 19 population, higher than national average, and from rural to city are coastline communities. So we've got a population of over 4.3 million, covering 2,914 square miles, with over 8,000 staff covering this area, and services across 210 sites with a budget in circa of 500 million.
And if you look at our NELFT key data, so we got over 8,000 staffs, 430 staff with a disability, which is very important, and 19% of the workforce is Black, 20% of the workforce are aged over 56, 83% of the workforce is women, 45% of the workforce is ethnic minority, and as a population, we are almost 50% ethnic minority in London, 4.3 million population.
So we've got the national key drivers. We've got the Finance Academy EDI Action Plan. There's the Workforce Race Equality Standard, Workforce Disability Equality Standard, the NHS People Plan, NHSE High Impact EDI Action Plan, the Gender Pay Gap, Health Inequalities and CQC Standards.
So those were the national key drivers. And then if you look at the national objectives, we're going to cover all these in our slides. Leadership, visible leader, encourage inclusive practice, representation, diverse future leaders, recruitment, all levels inclusiveness, awareness, engagement across NHS finance, support through various opportunities, and finally the data and information, diverse makeup of the finance. We're going to cover all these actually.
So you can see the hands, we're all different colours, shapes, sizes, we're changing the narrative. So NELFT, we're winning the race, embracing diversity, together we can.
Absolutely. Look at this one. I like this slide actually. This is amazing. This is actually telling what is equality is. If you look at the first one is reality, right? You can see where is the equality. And then you can see the equality is, the 3 different levels actually. Only one can't see it. The other one is only a little bit, and the other one is fully. Equity, you're going to make some adjustments to the equity actually. But still, without that, we can do justice to this one. There is no barriers in it. And then finally, the inclusion. Everyone is included in the game. No one is left on the outside. We didn't only remove the barriers, keeping people out. We made sure they were valued and involved. This is amazing, actually. I love this slide. I'm sure you all love it as well. So that's basically, there is no barriers. Remove the barriers and make sure everyone is included in there. That is what we are doing it in NELFT. We can see that.
So belonging, inclusion, diversity and equality.
So basically, we will be covering everything there. We are saying this is our belonging, inclusion is there, diversity is there, equality is there. This is what we're going to cover all of them.
You can see from this little graph that we've got lots of different icons where we're including everybody from LGBT to disabilities. It's very diverse, isn't it, and inclusive, that everyone is included from one end to the other end of the spectrum.
Absolutely. If you look at all these arrows, actually, it is all connecting to each other, pointing each other, connecting to each other, and any all 9 protective characteristics, everything. We are covering everything, all the inclusiveness. That's what we say it should be EDI. So this graph is also telling lots of stories, and so I'm sure you all agree on that one as well. And if you look at the staff networks, in 2013, we started the EMN network in NELFT, 2013 to 16. And then we done from 16 to 2020, we said, okay, we have to do some strategy. So we implemented some strategy on that. And then 20 to 23, so we created the strategy, we implemented it. So, and then finally at the bottom, in 2023, we have created the Global Majority Staff Network. So all these together, from 2013, EMN network was fully accepted and appreciated by all the NHS in the country as well, because our EDI in NELFT were very highly rated EDI team in NELFT actually. So now we launched the Global Majority Network in October 2023.
So we've got some other networks as well. So we've got our disability staff network strategy, our LGBT and staff network strategy. There's the mental health staff network. Other networks as well. We've got dyslexia and specific LD network, hearing support, religion and belief, male nursing network, the women's network, parent and carer network, armed forces network. Each network has an executive sponsor. 3 networks have a budget, which is our global majority network,
Disability
staff network, our LGBT and our women's network.
So the important thing is all these networks are headed by the executive director. So executive is sponsor of all these networks. GMN is the biggest network, the global majority network. They have a budget of big money, actually, probably around £80,000 to cover the annual conference, etc., etc. And then DSN, that is the dyslexia and specific LD network, and the LGBT and the women network, they got £10,000 each. Important is because because these are supported by our executive team. Executive sponsor is heading of all these networks. It is important that, even if anybody wanted to start again, executive should be sponsoring this one, then that carries more weight.
We've got the 2020 to 2024 strategy working together for a better tomorrow. So we've got an increase in senior leadership at board and executive level. We've got our White Ally scheme. We've got the reverse mentoring. There's leadership program for the bands 3 to band 8B, LEAP, and we've got the 4th cohort. The leadership program, which is ready now, which is for band 8s and 8Bs. And we reduced the number of formal disciplinary for BME colleagues. There's cultural competence training across all levels and our Just Culture program.
So these are the strategy actually we're going forward. We started this in 2020. You can see that this is the LEAP program. So that is actually leaders empowered to achieve their potential. So this LEAP program, there is a graduation ceremony every year in July. So this is the 4th cohort already joined, around 750 staff members. I'm also, the last couple of years, I have been mentoring a couple of the band 4 staffs as well. So they do a lot of project work, and then we mentor them, and then they get their graduation. This is highly recognized by the NHS England, and people are talking about this LEAP program. So I'm quite happy to share anything you guys need, anything on this one, probably at the end.
For our anti-racism strategy, this is quite new to us. So you know, racism has no place at NELFT. We want everyone to be included and want to be free from any, you know, problems. So our CFO's pledged on how the finance team make space to have conversations about race. So at last best in class that we had, we was talking about this, and we want that to be a safe place. So if you have got problems, you can open up and share them and feel safe to do so. So our CEO and head of EDI leadership workshops across the organisation on anti-racism. So we just want everyone to feel open to talk about racism. How do you make space to talk about it? And also, how does this impact on staff and patients?
This is a really important topic. I have been going around to our leadership team meetings as a finance there, and then they talk about it. If we don't talk about it, we don't know whether this is exist. You can see that, even though we say there is no place in NELFT or anywhere, but it is sadly still alive and well. So we need to have a space actually. So you need to talk about it. If you don't talk about it, we don't know. So I pledged it. You can see on the top actually, that's I was signing there as a governor. I'm also staff governor for the corporate services. And so I pledged my support during a anti-racism launching ceremony as well. And our CFO Malcolm Young, and he is also signed the pledge actually. So it is important that this is one of our strategy for NELFT. So our CEO is going around to every team every week and talking about this anti-racism. It is important, otherwise we can't keep this away at all. And look at the finance team in NELFT actually. So it is a diversity of the NELFT finance team. Look at this, lovely shining colors, lots of different colors, and we are a diverse finance team. And I like this picture as well actually. So I thought this is really giving a very powerful this picture. So I thought I need to include this one in there, because if it is not powerful, then you won't get the message. So you can see that on our other slides actually, you will see how diverse we are.
As you can see, our finance department from 2022 to 2023, we had 54.1% that were white and 45.9% as BME, which is pretty good. Then, as you can see from 2023, 2024, which is our most current, you can see that we're almost 50-50 now. So our white is 51% and our global majority network is 49%.
Yeah, so when I prepared this slide, we prepared these slides a few days ago, and now we have recruited our current CFO is retiring, and we have recruited a new CFO starting in May, and he's an ethnic minority, and we just got an apprentice actually. So we are almost 50% now, 50 plus now. Because we are covering demographically, we are covering more than 50% ethnic minority in our demographic area. So it is this is the most diverse finance department I have ever worked in my life. So I'm so proud. I'm so happy to say this actually in here.
So just as a breakdown, you can see our bandings and which ones are from a white background, and then our global majority network. As you can see, there's quite a split. We haven't actually got any band 6s or 8Cs at the moment, but you can see there is some changes as you go up the bands. So we are working on that. Our band 4s seem to be the one that you see, and band 5s that you see more in the GMN background than you do with the whites. But our band 7s seem to be lacking a little bit because we have only, out of our members of staff, we have got more that are from a white background than from a GMN background.
So I think this is an issue actually. This is the current nationwide issue. You can see that the people are from band 3 to 5. You can see that the GMN majority is high, and then if you go to the band 7 and above, you will see actually the less GMN there. So we don't know why actually, but we are trying to address it. We are addressing it. And at the bottom, I put band 2 to 3 because they are apprentice actually. They are apprentice salaries are different. It's just below the band 3 and a fixed apprentice. So we got 3 now. So you can see that I just only put 2 there. So this was a few days ago when I prepared it. So we got the new apprentice as well. So those are the apprentice bandings, and then band 3, 4, 5, 6. And if you look at it, actually band 8, 7 and above, you have only few GMN there. So we're going to, and you can see that banding in ethnic, and you can see all these are in brown color are the GMN, and the other one is white. So you can see in here, band 8C, 8B and above, we only got only few GMN representatives there. We're not talking about the GMN, we are talking about the women representative as well. How many women we are talking about it actually? So, so when we band, 8C and above, we only have 1. So we need to address this actually. So this is one of our objective, or maybe you can see that, we can do that. But as I mentioned it before earlier, our new CFO is coming from a GMN background, so that will change the color from May actually.
So our leadership, we've got our CEO sponsoring the executive lead for the Global Majority Network strategy. We've got an executive director of finance and deputy director of finance, signed sponsors for the EDI pledge and the anti-racism pledge. We've got senior leaders and integrated care directors. We've got buy-in from all senior leaders and integrated care directors. And the senior finance business partner manager is our finance EDI lead for the trust, which is here, Safa.
So we need to continue this task actually with the leadership support. As Nicola mentioned, it's CEO and our CFO and deputy CFO, and they are very supportive on that actually. So I'm really, compared to the other trust actually, we don't any. Finance, and I'm also EDI strategic ambassador for the trust as well.
The leadership, we've got the head of EDI, who was responsible for the lead for National Workforce Race Equality Standard, the Inequalities Agenda, Commission Groups, Equality and Human Rights Commission, Public Health and CQC. And then there's the update on EDI work streams at best in class meetings.
So the best in class is actually in finance. We have a monthly best in class session for 3 hours. On a third week of the Wednesday or Thursday, we have 3 hours from 9:30 to 12:30. We have finance best in class sessions actually. That's open to everybody, including apprentice, they do the updates, and band 3 to 5, they just go on a course, and during that month they come back and report those course attendance, how important is that. And then we talk about EDI. We have different groups there. So I am the chair of the EDI in finance, and Nicola as well. So we've got 7 members there, and then we have the health and well-being group as well, headed by one of our senior finance manager, and then value makers and phase, lots of stuffs actually we are heading. So they all come back and they report to them. So it's not the senior leaders running this best in class session, the juniors and everybody running this session, and the CFO and the deputy CFO only take half an hour or half an hour to do the monthly positions and all of the finance issues. This is amazing actually. I'm encouraging everybody to think about this actually. And so once a month we take this session, and then we go, and everybody, feel free to talk about anything, and feel free to talk about, we'll cover it as well, and the bullying and harassment side as well. And it is important that the best in class session, we're happy to talk about it.
So the representation, we've got Strategic Global Majority Staff Network Ambassador, we've got the Staff Governor, hear the voice of staff. The EMN representative sits on all band 7 and above posts in NELFT, including all internal and external finance posts, both clinical and non-clinical posts. Attendance at various staff network meetings, and our finance EDI team united together.
Yeah, so I think one of the good thing we are doing in NELFT actually, anyone we recruit band 7 and above, there is an EMN representative sits there in the panel, and then we ask couple of the EDI questions. It's nothing to do with the other members at all. So we ask them, and then again, one of the stuff actually on this one, we talk about the policies as well. Any policies trust introduce, there should be an EMN authorization actually. It should go through the EDI. So EDI should be passed on that anything recruitment or any other policy there. And then we, in finance, I just mentioned it earlier, we call it finance EDI team, we call as United Together. So we thought, because this is, we just gave a name as a United Together, because we all united, we all as one team, work as one team. And as you see, as you saw that one, actually, we are a diverse team. So we call it as United Together.
As you can see, all the different colour hands, shapes and sizes, all from different backgrounds. So together we are united, and we thought it was quite an apt name.
Absolutely. Even this two photos, actually, this is amazing. You can see that, different people joined together, working together and helping each other. This is amazing, actually. So that's why we put a name called United Together. Look at these objectives. Finance. So we thought, when you're creating a group, you need to have some objectives set. So we set some objectives for this group for 24-25. Encourage more apprentices to join the finance team, and supporting mentoring and shadowing, implementing the anti-racism strategy. We already talked about it. And bullying and harassment, identify the issues via indicators. And I must say, the bullying and harassment, actually, this is, we did a survey recently, and rather than, if we are all as one finance team, you shouldn't have anything. There is no racism, there is no bullying, there is no harassment. But bullying and harassment is a very, very tricky area, very gray area. Of anything can be called as bullying and harassment. Probably the person they are mentioning not maybe aware of they are bullying or harassment. So that's why. So we did that survey, and then couple or three staff members came back unofficially, spoke to the group. We said we don't want to mention the names, and they mentioned that that member was the way talking or the way mentioning talking is like bullying and harassment. So then we had to talk to that staff member, and then we addressed the issue actually without even going there. But again, that staff member is not aware that person is bullying and look like a bullying and harassment actually. So now, I think these are the things actually it is important, rather than going, HR process and etc. etc. These are tiny issues. These are very tiny issues. We need to address it because we work as one team. So we need to address it. So we thought we'll do this survey every 6 months, and make sure we don't have this kind of attitude at all in your workplace. And the other one is unconscious bias. Major impact in the workplace actually. No equality if we don't address this one. That is important, unconscious bias actually. And then senior leadership in finance representing more women, which I already talked about it. And how training courses and seminars are attended, identifying the barriers and address it. Some places, the junior members, band 3, 4, 5, thinking, oh, this seminar, can we address it? Can we go to these seminars? Can we do these courses? But we don't have any barriers in NELFT at all. We always, my boss, our associate director of finance, and all the senior managers, even we send it to our colleagues saying that, okay, this is coming from an NHS Finance, this is coming from HFMA, so can you attend this course? So we encourage people to go there, and then increase awareness of the disability. And you can see that, we had massive number of 400 to 500 disability staff working in there. And so we have make sure that, we support that in finance. And then the menopause policy introduced, how to support the women actually. So it's really important that we cover these menopause issues as well. How do you support your women, colleagues actually? How do you support them as a manager? How do you support that? In here, they talk about it. They talk to the managers, and we'll give them enough time, and things like that. So I think it's important. In trust, we have a menopause policy as well. And there's a training for managers as well, how to support the staff. And then the recruitment staff support, we just already mentioned about the band 7 and above attending the interviews. And as a trust, we have the civility and respect handbook training. So if you look at as a finance, we have achieved so many things in here, which I already mentioned to you as well. So we are very proud of that, but we need to eradicate lots of stuff in here. That's our target actually by December 2024.
So we've got our apprentices working in finance. You know, one of them has moved to a band 3 post now, so we've got progression within our finance team. We're actively making our system and processes more equitable by opening up paths of opportunity, providing high quality learning and development opportunities on race, racism, allyship, and being anti-racist. We support mentoring and shadowing. So mentoring and shadowing harness the people in all organisations to learn and grow together, to share experiences and knowledge. We all learn from one another. We've currently got here in finance, we've got someone from our IAP services who's coming over because she's very interested to know how our finance team work. So once a month she comes over and we show her tasks and talk her through what we do. That's why mentoring and shadowing are such effective methods to support diversity, equality and inclusion in the organisation. We're working on anti-racism strategy. We mentioned that we've done it in our best in class. So if we see it, we say it and we stop it. So clarify the organisation's stance and values, critically appraise your people management approach from end to end, and connect your people by creating safe spaces and systems and times to talk. Trust EMT signed off the anti-racism strategy on the 23rd of November. So it's a start.
Yeah, that's the one you can see the photograph. I signed that strategy actually on that day. I signed it as well. And you can see that, if you see any anti-racism or anything, see it, say it, stop it. So that's the like a mantra. We use it actually wherever you go there. See it, say it, stop it. So it is important that we encourage everybody we have to do the mentoring and shadowing, stop the anti-racism, and and support the apprentices as well. Look at the bullying and harassment pledge support. Look out for the below indicator. These are the ones is gray area. So we just put this one in for the sake of everybody. Feeling constantly criticized, having duties and responsibility taken away without good reason, when someone is shouting at you or displaying aggressive behavior or threats, experiencing being continuously or made to feel like the butt of the jokes, being persistently picked on in front of others in private, being constantly ignored, victimized, and excluded regularly, spreading malicious rumors about members of staff, misuse of power or position to make someone feel uncomfortable or victimized, making threats about job security without any basis or substance, blocking promotion or progress within the workplace. These are some indicators. We thought it's good to share these indicators actually, because these can be bullying and harassment. So we need to address these kind of things actually. So that's why we as finance team, we are taking very seriously, and then we are addressing it actually.
So recruitment, we've got value-based recruitment and interview, which includes a specific EDI or health inequalities question. So the EMN ambassadors involved in advertising, support with internal promotions, the networking, the recruitment process, support with application and interview skills. Then we've got our apprenticeships. We've got 2 BMEs and 1 white. And then we've got an excellence accreditation, level 2 accredited, 1 NHS finance and skills development network working towards good practice.
Yeah, so we already mentioned about the advertising, support with internal promotions. We in finance, we always do that actually. So any vacancy comes up, say if I'm a band 6 or if band 7 comes up, we ask the band 6 to apply for that one internally. That's why all our bandings are 3/4, 4/5, 5/6, 6/7, the development role actually. So they will be trained, they will be ready for the sitting in band 6 and then moving to the band 7. So that's why all our roles bandings are 6 to 7. And we will talk about the level 2 accreditation as well, because on the EDI work we did in finance, is also taken into account for the level 2 accreditation as well. That is also a part of it.
We've got training and development. We've got working in partnership with the EDI team to deliver core training and support and advice on particular issues or concerns. We deliver awareness sessions on autism awareness, civility and respect, cultural intelligence training for managers, coaching and mentoring, mandatory EDI training, mandatory learning, bullying and harassment training. There's the All Staff Network webinars. There's the Leaders Empowers to Achieve Potential, LEAP programme, the Calibre programme, Disability Leadership programme, EDI-specific in-house bespoke training programme, and Freedom to Speak Up Guardian training. The Equality Impact Assessments, all policies and service change. And then we've got the Showcase Good Practice by social media, so video and promotion of the role of apprentice in the team.
Yeah, that's what I mentioned, actually, equality impact assessments. Any policies should pass the equality and impacts assessment. That's a good thing, actually. And then again, you can see the trainings. There are so many mandatory trainings there, actually. We in finance, we have to do a number of mandatory training, probably about 10 or 12 of them. And a couple of them are, you can see the mandatory EDI training once a year, and e-learning, bullying and harassment. We have to do that. So it's so many good things in there, and so I think that's why we are so proud to say that we are a diverse finance team. And you can look at the supports, actually, the internal development, which I already mentioned it, or through the advertisements and promotions, access to various support mechanism, freedom to speak up, equality and diversity team, health and well-being team. In finance, we have so we like a weekly, we send our team news from the health and well-being team, which I mentioned it again. They just put some messages there. They have walking group, steps group, and coffee morning and something like that. If you feel like upset or something like that, there are forums to talk about it. So we do encourage everybody to be part of it, actually. So health and well-being doing an amazing work in our finance as well. And then look at the governance meetings. I attend the board meeting as a staff governor for the corporate services. And then we have the monthly team meetings, best in class meetings, and staff networks. And then so these are the things, actually, encouraging staff to to be free and fair, and they can open to talk as well. So
otherwise you bottle it up and it has knock-on effects and can affect your mental health. So it's good to talk about anything, really. So we've got our data, we've got Power BI, we've got all HR data, including workforce, new starters and leavers, broken down by all protected characteristics. Our gender pay gap, there's been a deep dive into report for all corporate services to support in minimising the gap in pay. There's our annual EDI report, all elements of the report broken down by profession and corporate services. And then the data and information from Freedom to Speak Up, EDI, EMN ambassadors, unions and staff governors.
So that the data are coming from the absolute, real sources there. The Power BI is the one, all of activities and all the data, as Nicola just ran through here. And so these are the data, actually. We get something like every 3 months from the EDI team. And then annually, we are publishing these reports annually as well. You can see that even London CFO's EDI report, you get all these data, actually, for individual or the trust there. What are the challenges, actually? And we already talked about it. Implementation of the anti-racism strategy, percentage of employee relation cases, senior leadership of EMN in finance department, not fully reflected of the diversity, women, disability, LGBT+. As I already mentioned that, we already recruited another additional apprentice and another, our CFO, actually. That again, women, yes, we are looking into it. Progression within the banding structures. At the moment, we don't have band 6 or band 8C, but as I mentioned it, we have the stroke there. So we'll be looking into that one as well. Access to leadership training. Everybody should have that access to leadership. And then I think it's band 7 and above, we have to do a lot of leadership training there. And system-wide EDI objectives aligning with NELFT objectives. So we always, whenever we do any objectives, that objectives in line with our EDI, trust-wide EDI objectives. and then health inequalities within the financial brackets and frameworks. So these are our challenges actually.
So just some of our achievements here at NELFT. We've got the level 2 accreditation. SAFA here was shortlisted for a Value Maker Award, and we've got our Innovation Award for Finance Automation, OMAR, that got that.
Yeah, so these are our achievements actually. So, as I mentioned it actually, the level 2 is not fully part of the EDI. There are so many points there. So one of them is EDI. So this is one of our achievements. So we are, as a trust now, we achieved this level 2 accreditation in January. And then so we have to wait for another 18 months to apply for the level 3, which we will do it. With so many works we have done it. And as you know, the Value Maker Award, we were shortlisted. And Innovation Award for this is actually one of the thing we have did some automation work. One of our colleague actually, Omar Sharif, one of the senior finance manager, and he did some automation. It was highly recognized by one NHS Finance, and then we were awarded on that one as well.
So Make a Difference Award. We do these in our trust. Our Barking and Dagenham finance team, our finance integrated care director actually nominated our Barking and Dagenham finance team for all the hard work that they do, and just working alongside them and trying to make things better for them. And we had our London Rising Star Sophia, who got the HFMA and Finance Academy and SDN. She's part of them networks.
Yeah, so these are the Make a Difference Award, and we normally get it in finance. Lots of finance team, we were nominated by the integrated care directors, and different people nominate them. And at the end, we have the yearly. So we will be, if we are lucky, we will be shortlisted. A couple of times we were shortlisted as well. And so there are so many categories there. And then this is Sophie. She joined as an apprentice before. Now she's moved to band 3, and then she's doing her AAT final, and she started the ACCA. So these people apprentice actually every apprentice, and they're starting and they're moving up the ladder. Couple of the apprentice we already started several years ago. They are on band 5, band 6, and band 7 now. So they couple of them already finished the ACCA. So we are encouraging people to go on there. Actually, I think this is Sophia. Sophia is the finance, SDN chair of the SDN in London. So she's really doing well in there. Look at the finance leadership. So this is what I mentioned it there, and you can see all of them. 4 colleagues at band 8B and 3 at band 8D. And 3 GMN colleagues from a total of 10 overall senior colleagues. So that's again, we touched on it. And then now the newly, the executive director has started, from the CMN actually. I think he's starting in May there. So
then you can see our board representation of our trust. It's very diverse. We've got men and women from, everyone's from different backgrounds. So we're open up to a lot of change and inclusion of everybody here.
Yeah, it's the board is actually, you can see that, how many 7 men and 6 women there, which is really good actually. But how many GMN representative there? We have only 4 GMN representative there. So, and then when the new CFO starts, it's going to be 5. And so I think we are there. We are winning. And the board is actually really, amazing. They are very supportive to the EDI initiative. And because I attend the board meetings, and it is really very helpful. They bring EDI, with the patients as well, service users coming there, and then they are really valuing the EDI highly. So in that way, so we are so proud. So we're not that much worried on the board representation actually currently.
So now it's time to act, because everyone's got to be included and everyone's got to be welcome.
Yeah, it is. This piece is also really nice. This is very powerful. You can see that. How are you going to act? So everything is there. So we need to act. How are we going to do it?
We've got some next steps and actions. So our leadership, we've got to develop a role description for the various leaders, creating shadowing and mentoring opportunities, which we are already doing, but we're promoting it even more. There's a new structure of developmental roles. So as we said earlier, you might not be a band 5 yet, but you can start because you've got the basics as a band 4, and you can build on and meet them competencies, and then within a period of time you will become that band 5. So there's opportunities for you to progress within our trust. We've got representation of the finance department to develop an action to recruit diversity in senior roles, development of a trust-wide talent pool to include finance, reciprocal mentoring, the GMM representation at the VSM and other senior roles. Then recruitment, promote NELFT finance and the EDI on NHS jobs, encourage internal advertisement and internal promotions. As we said, we've already put out any adverts that are within our finance team. We open it up to anyone, so there is time for progression. Working towards level 3 of the excellence accreditation and development a career pathway as some bands not represented within the team.
It's these pictures carrying, a message. The message, we just put it down there. And so we are doing all of them, and that's again a next step actually. So we need to move on that, and it is amazing. Everything we just covered previously, we have mentioned it there, and then we can go from there as well. And then look at this on the next step: training, awareness, development of career and personal development blocks, bystander training to be rolled out to finance team, development inclusion post in finance. This is we just put it in there. Can we do that? And growing your own, and FSU's champion within the finance team, freedom speak up champion within the finance team, representative from finance team for each of the networks within the trust. Data, set up quarterly meeting to review data on ethnicity, sex, disability and pay. Use of Power BI for RES, workforce race equality standard, workforce disability equality standard, and health inequalities.
So never underestimate your ability.
Thank you for listening. This is powerful as well. Never underestimate your ability. We can do it. We can do it. It is you doing it actually, not others. So that's what we always say. This is also one of the trust strategy. So in our ADI strategy, we said never underestimate your ability. So thanks for listening. It's almost 45 minutes on the spot. So we have covered it. So we'll leave it for the questions now. So we got 15 minutes for any questions you have. Happy to answer any questions you may have.
We've got one from Anna Maria.
Hi, Anna.
Hello, I'm from Homerton, Deputy Head of Procurement and Supply Chain. Congratulations, it's a delight to see the progress, the EDI journey that we are all committed to progress with. I'm new to NHS. I come from the private sector, 2 decades in the private sector. And I'm pleased to see the progress, and I think I have 2 questions for today's session because I'm learning a lot about NHS. How can we make this initiative? I'm seeing finance championing the EDI agenda, which is amazing, but how can we expand this initiative to be even more inclusive to the wider organization? For example, finance and procurement and supply chain, the clinical wider organization. So this is one question. And the second, I think there is only one opportunity for all of us as part of the next session to continue to include the Equality Act 2010, which is the law here in the UK, in order to educate, equip us all as leaders, as champions on what are our protected characteristics, what is the law, because it's more EDI is also protected by the law. So we need to empower people and we need allies to stand up according to the law. So these two questions and recommendations as well from my side.
Okay, thank you. There are two good questions, Anna Maria. And as I said it before, how do you gonna make this works actually? First thing is actually you need to the senior leadership must support that. Senior leadership. So the so many things we achieved here in NELFT, our senior leaders are giving you time and they are talking about it and they are very supportive for your initiative. And again, I already mentioned that your Trust EDI team is highly recognized in the country. Our NELFT EDI team actually. So our EDI has done lots of, and we were awarded as one of the best EDI last year as well. We were throughout the country we came second. We came second actually. We missed by tiny points there. And so I think these are the things actually. So the first thing is actually the senior leaders must be supporting this one. So without them, you can't do anything about it. You can't do anything because we are so lucky. We are so lucky and so proud to say that our senior leaders are fully supportive. They are behind all the work we do here. And that is amazing actually. So that's one of the things. And then as a trust wide, how are you going to do it? We already mentioned that we go around because we, as one of the senior finance, I attend the senior leaders meetings in the directorates, different directorates, because for we go there and then we talk about these things. And then they are also in one of the agenda, the EDI is part of it. EDI is part of it. So I think that's why. So you need two things. One is your senior leaders in finance need to be fully supportive of this initiative. Second, we need to go and talk about with the Trust EDI team to the other individual directorates actually. So then it's easy to move. And then finally about the 9 protected characteristics, you mentioned this 2010 Act actually, and it is important. It is important. We need to protect them. Whatever we do, whatever the policy we do, we have to support. We need to protect these 9 protective characteristics actually. I think that is your trust policy. Every trust should have that actually. That is your trust policy. So hope I answered the question.
Thank you. Thank you.
Next we had Emma.
Oh, I put my hand down now. I thought it was a very inspiring talk. I'm definitely going to be wanting the slides and pinching all your ideas to put into best practice here. And I was also interested in the automation as well because I want to that's areas I want to definitely develop. So thank you.
That's brilliant, Emma. That's brilliant. Yeah, we are quite happy to get in touch with us, and we will pass on our experience and everything learning to you, and the automation as well. We will get in touch with our colleague, and we will support it. See, my boss is nodding his head actually. Kevin.
Is that Kevin who's replied to me?
That's it. Yes.
Thank you.
There is a chat. Is it something? Oh, okay. That's the chat probably. Okay.
Thank you very much.
I think that's it for questions, unless anybody else has any more questions.
Somebody.
Kevin.
Kevin.
So thank you both for presenting. Really good. Excellent for us as a trust as well to get you out there nationally. So I think it's important to recognise that this all needs buy-in from everyone. So from the top down as well as from the bottom up, because as a senior manager, I couldn't do this on my own without the team around us getting involved as well, because it's too much for 1 or 2 people to do. And it's really important that every level gets involved in this and feels that they've got the opportunity and access.
Absolutely, absolutely.
And then also there's loads of stuff available through One NHS Finance. They've got their own Teams channel that you can get access to that has loads of stuff on automation that Emma's asked about. There's lots of different groups on there where people can ask questions and get help from everyone across the country. So they're always good sources of information. And then we've had Blackpool come and present SQL to us, so anything anybody wants, we're happy to share data with and details on, whether that be apprentices, whether that be any of our networks that we've set up, and we're keen to help anybody.
Thanks, Kevin. Yeah, that's all about the EDI. We all need to be, share our experience, and just a give and take. You just experience share with all the teams here. And there's a question from Ranjana.
Hi, yeah, so I just wanted to agree, but also I had a comment really. So first of all, I want to say, yeah, really, really great presentation. I've heard some of the work you've been doing in NELFT, obviously, Silva has been sharing that at the IND Ambassadors, but I can see that you've got a lot of really good structural support in place as well, and I think that infrastructure has really, I can see how that has impacted your success, and I know that that's something that we need to borrow in our area of London. I will be emailing you with some questions about some of the things that you've already highlighted that you've got in place, so I'd be really grateful if you could share. But I also was really, really kind of wowed by the term that you use, the global majority network term. And I just really wanted to understand how that came about, how that rebranding, because I feel that, I mean, that's just such a shift in mindset and kind of really is inspiring to feel, that that's something that recognizes capability rather than difference. I just feel like it really resonated with me. So I just wondered how that came about. And how you went about kind of agreeing that term as opposed to, say, some of the other terms that are commonly used, such as BAME.
Thank you, Ranjana. Thank you. And Ranjana is one of the another architect of EDI in London, and I know Ranjana through this network. I think she has done a lot of work. And thanks, Ranjana. And you're good. Yeah, thanks for the appreciation as well. And the GMN network, yes. So if you look at it, in our trust, actually, we did say we have 83% women working. But ethnicity, we are talking about almost 50% of the ethnicity are all around the world. Right? They are from Europeans, they are from Africa, they're from India, Sri Lanka, and the Western countries, and things like that. If you look at it, and so we are like a white ally. We are talking about white ally in this country. But at the same time, in NHS, if you look at it, the global majority are working in NHS here. So what's the EMN network? It was ethnic minority network before, and they said we are not ethnic anymore. We are the global majority people. So they decided that, and then they had a consultation on that last year. And then in October last year, they have accepted it, and trust ratified that, board ratified that GMN. So now we called, as we mentioned in our presentation as well. So we called as GMN network, actually, Global Majority Network, because I'm part of that strategy group as well. So we made the decision, trust accepted it. Now we are going as GMN representative. Even your trust as well, Ranjana, maybe, Kingston, you have some global GMN network. Probably if you look at your the ethnicity and the data, probably that data will support our decision, probably.
Thank you. Yeah, I think it's something I want to raise. So yeah, I'll be in touch, as I said. Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, we're quite happy to pass on any of the stuff we did, as Kevin mentioned it, actually. So we're happy to share it, yes. And you can always get in touch with us, and that's where this network is for. So so we help each other. Thank you. If you don't have any questions, yeah, thank you so much. Thanks for listening. And we'll see probably next month. I think Tahira is presenting next month. So Kevin got a question.
Satha, there's just a quick question on our budgets. Are they supported through charitable funds or through the main budgets? Now, I know we have an EDI budget, so I'm assuming the group's budgets, because I don't know the detail.
No, they are funded by the trust. They are funded by the trust, yeah. Although we have a charity part of the charitable, we have a charity account as well, but these three networks are funded by the trust. So 10,000 each. But as Kevin, you did mention, yeah, the GMN network is a bigger one. It's a bigger one. We have a big budget there.
And we have an annual conference as well, which is really good.
Really good, yeah. So, but I think Charlie and Becky knows that, it's but 500 people attended last time. 500 to 600 people attended. External speakers from other trusts, and it's amazing. Anyone wanted to visit? Yes, happy to send the invitation in November this year. Thank you. Leave it to Charlie and Becky.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.